Hey guys, welcome back to another round of Cyborg Gaming. I am here over in Hyrule Castle, and we're going to start working towards the Gerudo Desert. I've already gone through some of the kind of side things after, beating Lakebed Temple, went and grabbed a handful of hearts, did the Malo Mart side quest or mini mission, as well as grabbed a handful of bugs. So I recommend kind of going through, at least grabbing the hearts. The Malo Mart mission takes a good amount of time just due to the amount of rupees you need to grab. But now that we've gotten that complete, we are going to go head over to the Gerudo Desert, heading over to Lake Hylia and closing out the Eldin Bridge. So if you do take a sec to go check your map in the warp button, I'm on the GameCube, so it'd be, I think, the east part of the map on GameCube. If you try to warp over to Eldin Bridge, it's going to tell you that the bridge is gone, blah, blah, blah. And so we're actually going to be handling that as well, completing the Eldin Bridge. But first, we're coming over to Telma's Bar, and we're going to come right over here. So you're going to get, this little cut. And you can even notice that my shield is gone, and that has completely burned away at this point. So I need to go to Malo's Mart and grab myself a shield over in Kakariko Village. But let's go get this done, the Western Desert. And let's go. Let's get this. I think we have a map marker on here. But you're going to want to do this before going over to Lake Hylia. And we are going to use... let's go... Yeah, and there's more that comes with that as well. I don't need to recap that for you though. We'll get into that later. Snow Peak Mountain. So these are kind of some of the next levels that we'll be taking on. Alright, there we go. Perfect. I actually got to check the map this time. I wanted to come back in here. I was feeling I had to check the map, and I was right. So now it's going to show you exactly where he is. Alright, now we can get out of here and go back to Lake Hylia. Okay, so now that we're at the lake, you can see there is a giant red spot on the map, and that is a friend that we are going to go talk to. And then, as well as there is a Howling stone, I believe that's it right there. And that's not the end of it, but we'll get into this here in just a second. So let's go up here. Let's go to the Howling stone. Let's see if I have a good enough memory to take in all these notes and get this done. So down, middle, up, down, middle, down, up. So he is far out there, and we'll get there soon though. So let's turn back to human form. Let's look for where we are going, and that is where we are going. So make this little jump over here, right onto this ledge. And we are just going to kind of roll. And then basically he's going to be like searching for something. And we're going to get like a little order from him. You can see the Poe there. I'll be coming through and just grabbing all the Poes at one time. Just so that it's a little easier for me than trying to figure out which ones I've grabbed and which ones I haven't. I think I have like the automatic one that you get. And then I found one somewhere else. And I just took them out. Just make my life a little easier. I just got to remember which one that is. So all the way at the top, though, we have a new friend. There we go. Master Cyborg, yes it is. So just kind of get through that. There we go. And the Gerudo Desert held a prison, built hold the worst criminals in the land. Cursed mirror, blah blah blah. So let's get through that. Ooh. And then we need to go to fire. So that is the guy in the middle section right over here. And I'm just going to straight up dive right into this. And let's just kind of push right through. So he's basically going to be using you. If you've done the mini game already, he shoots you up to the top. I mean, you've already run into him once. But this time he's going to adjust so that we can go over to the Gerudo Desert. And then once we get up into the Gerudo Desert, we can actually find the Eldin Bridge pretty quickly. There is a heart piece over there I need to grab. So let's go over here. Launch you to the heavens. 10 rupees. One sec. Let's pull this out. Let's see if we get that. Yep, there we go. So this one should be free. You shouldn't have to worry about it. The ride to the heavens is actually a good one for, as we are going to be using it again, as we have a sky level that's pretty fun here at the end. It is one of the more challenging temples, just due to one single puzzle. It took me forever to figure it out when I was younger, first playing through this game. But yeah, these levels start to get pretty fun in my opinion. They're definitely pretty long though. So now we're getting shot up. We can now kind of access the desert and that side of the map where the wolf went. Perfect. So if you think it's faster to go as the wolf, feel free just to kind of change to wolf form and just kind of dive around. There's really obviously no people around here, so there's nothing that's going to stop you. A few shadows. The sacred realm. They were banished and driven to another realm by the goddesses. So I'll just let you kind of read through this. I'm going to kind of skim through and just keep moving on, as we have a lot to do today. Yep, I understand. Descendant of the tribe that was banished to the Twilight realm. So the Midna backstory is actually a pretty fun one. I highly recommend kind of reading through this. They have an entire manga on this. I personally have not read it, but I have read some decent synopsis on it, as well as kind of the backstory and all that. It's definitely worth the read. So that's Zant. We're going to be taking on Zant eventually. Plus Ganondorf. Pretty good mix of like two main bosses and enemies for this game. The Mirror of Twilight. The Twilight Realm. Alright, we're going to skip the rest. So that's a decent little cutscene there. You can see right over there. We go in there, but that is where I'm going first. Alright. It is going to be a decent run, so let's go turn over to Wolf. I feel like he's a little bit faster than Link. So you should have the area on your map located for the Eldin Bridge, and that is where we're going to take that. So just sprint all the way across. You can see the map on the bottom. We're in a decent sized area here for the Gerudo Desert. And we got a decent amount to do before we go over to the temple. And if I remember correctly, we still have to take on the Goblin King one more time. Let's see if I'm taking the most efficient way. Can Midna help me jump up here? Alright, let's turn back to human. Let's get the hook shot out. And you can see these guys right here. We should be able to hook shot onto them. We get a little bit closer. There we go, perfect. So they'll drop down here, and now we can grab onto this guy. So, wait for it there. Now you need to wait till you can drop correctly. And then we gotta work up here, and you can see there's another Poe. We're gonna have to take out a couple of these shadow beasts really quick. Be really nice if we just skip right through these. So we got 1, 2, 3. Okay, that's not bad. Yeah, that was a dumb move. Okay, let's just take you out first. Man, it's lagging. And that's all three dead. So obviously you don't have to go into wolf mode. If you think it's easier and then just using the hold B attack, I recommend doing that. But for me, I just wanted to get these guys out of the way and use this Master Sword. There we go. Let's get up here. We should get a little cue for Midna. There we go. Yep, let's warp. And then you should have it right here. So Midna will use her little magic, and let's throw this thing all the way across Hyrule to pretty much the entire other side of the map. So we can skip this, and we should start over at the Eldin Bridge. And obviously now we don't have to go all the way back to Lake Hylia. We can teleport back over to the Gerudo Desert. Perfect. So there is a heart piece over here, but I'm actually going to probably get to the main temple and then go about it. So basically our goal, I think it's right there. We actually just hookshot to the top and then go in the cave. But for now, let's go back over to the Gerudo Desert. Let's get that finished up a little bit more before we go and grab that heart. And you can see the wolf on the top edge of the map at the